Thursday me left here. So much things happen since Thursday and now that. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. So much things. We are talking about outside of Jamaica, inside of Jamaica. But one of the things them where happen, well, quite a few things happen, but many were beloved sisters of many years, many years, many pass away. And that is really a blow to a lot of ones who know many and know the powerful woman who she be and know where she live on the African continent and Jamaica. And know say she just got through over the years as a revolutionary. Serious revolutionary from up Augustown come right round. So she passed away and there will be a gathering for her in Hope Garden next week, Wednesday. Next week, Wednesday, them going to have a gathering up there. So for those of you who can make it, go. Very powerful woman. Many. Okay, so the next thing will happen is that South Africa decriminalized ganja. You know, years ago when I just started going to South Africa, there was a brethren who them did old feet, you know, and it was a big thing in South Africa. Well, I see the youth a smile now. Well, not a youth again, a big man, he must smile now if you know, say, after when him got through, must I think at, what, quite about 18 years ago, after when him got through for this ganja thing, you know, for come see say, ganja decriminalized in a South Africa. I mean, really? You that thing says you're more decriminalized more quicker in a Ghana or something like that, but South Africa, and to really is what happened now is that it's a white man that smoke the herbs in his house and them go lock him up and him fight the case. Them fight the case and the courts, the judge decides, say, look here man, it's against the man's constitutional right. As a matter of fact, it's against everybody's constitutional right. You know, who is you for come say the man can't smoke in his house? Anyway, them decriminalized that is one rotted in South Africa with all the rest of them from Cape Town and Pretoria. It's a one rotted from Pretoria and in Johannesburg, but you know most the Cape Town. Because most of the rest of them in South Africa they are Cape Town. So we want to yield up that landmark, historical thing we're going in South Africa. Yes, ganja. What them call it? Dagga. I think a dagga them call it. Yes, so we want to play some of the clip them tonight from that historic landmark we're happening in South Africa, which is a big thing. Because you don't know, Africa that, you know, a big thing that, when you hear one country decriminalize ganja, you know, say, a whole heap go follow after. We know that. You know, we go Ivory Coast and them want to talk about Rasta. And when you bring up the ganja, them kind of hush it down. I mean, no, say you can't talk about Rasta and talk about ganja. You know, because most Rasta smoke ganja and most Jamaican people use ganja somewhere or another. You know, but them that quite hush it, but I'm going to see now what going up now with that thing we're going in South Africa, if it going to have a domino effect right across Africa, you know, so we're going to look out for that. So the next thing now, we're going now, which really is really something where we always a ball out for, again, enough things we are ball out for and we see it come to fulfillment, you know, is this elimination of plastic in a Jamaica, plastic backland, plastic bag. The whole of a plastic bag. Years we are talking about this thing here because we all know say this thing is really a detriment to the well-being of human beings. You know them say the amount of plastic bottle were used in America can circle the world the earth 90 odd times. I think them say 97 times. The amount of plastic bottle we use in America can circle the globe 90 odd times. And no plastic bottle that. And them have seas right now where it's almost like a sea of plastic. And them are try do certain things now for really cleanse the ocean of this plastic. But it's a very serious thing. And the long-term effect of it is very detrimental to the survival of the human species on Earth. Because remember, say all the fish them eat the plastic and now swallow the plastic. You know, and become contaminated. Because it can't break down them body to the point where it disappear and them let it out back. But we who's human beings who eat fish. We who eat fish and all them something they know as human beings, you find say the thing get away. So we're glad to say the government take that initiative. And we have other initiatives we would like to them take still. We keep a push it upon them and them go like them now here, but we know them and listen. And one of the time we did feast them now listen, but we realize them and listen. All we know to them and listen is when we go to the road and we buck up in near them. Them will tell me all of me I talk about on the program. And the stand when me take and all them something there. One of them did even go as far as tell me, say, boy, I'm like what me I say, but it's too radical. But yes, we like to see that happen, this plastic thing. You know, in other countries, people carry them bag to the supermarket. You know, you have certain places in America where if you go in a supermarket and them, you know, sometimes when them catch all the things, them left it on the counter there. And so if you don't know better, you expect somebody to come bag it for you. When you turn around, nobody know there, the woman turn around to you and say, you want a bag to buy? I'm say, you have to buy a bag. Them say, yeah, so them do it. But you know, the bag is a nice bag where you can use back. Or you can use paper bag. Them give you paper bag. And that is really where we should have cultivate now. When we go in a supermarket, it's either you carry your own bag or the supermarket provide paper bag. You know? And that is really another problem too. We can't have to use things where you can use more than one time, you know, see, because the problem with the paper bag now, and this is like jumping up from frying pan to fire now. The problem with the paper bag, you know, is that the amount of tree where you have to cut down to get a paper, that is the problem. Because you know, more tree get chopped down for make toilet paper. A whole heap of tree get chopped down for make toilet paper. And they must devastate the Brazilian Amazon circles, them, where the indigenous Brazilian them live. Whole heap of big company going and cut down tree them, and you know, say, the Amazon basin in a Brazil is part of the, where it's like the Jankrum, it's like the Jankrum mountain to Jamaica is the Amazon to the world, not even to just Brazil. And when you cut down all of them tree there, something, the ozone depletion is humongous. So we really have to really figure it out seriously. It's best you carry your own bag. Carry your own bag. Pack out your things and use it, keep using it. You know, it's just so it go. But we see it's a right move. It's a right move they make. And we say, yes, kill us to that. We can't fight that. There's nothing to fight about that. Okay. So we're going to play this tune, you know. I'm going to play this tune by my brethren, you know. And it's a favorite tune of mine when we used to go to a party. A favorite tune of mine. We used to love that tune, yeah. So we're going to play it. Here we go. Bob Andy. This is the cutting edge. Make a line it up here. So coming through, this is the cutting edge on RFM. As we say, we want to talk to Junior Lincoln. Blessed?
Yes, no time. Good night. Good night.
Man, how you doing, man?
Where do you know?
Yeah.
It was sad time for all of us, but...
Yeah, I tell you, man, it's really a lick of blood, serious blood.
Yeah, man.
You know, the weirdest thing, is that Ayata, Mama Ayata, which is Andrea Davis' mother, passed away.
Right, yes.
And them did have this celebration for her upper Boonal.
Mother, yeah.
Boonal there, and many come in, I was still down there, and you know, I mean, it's weird, because you see somebody and you know, say, at any moment something can happen, but you don't really want it to happen, but you know, say,
yeah, man, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, you know, it really striking. All right, so, what you have to do with this week, you know, because I never know you're involved in organizing weeks.
It's not a week. Mucha don't call it that, man.
No, watch out. I never call it week, you know. And then when I turn around and look at the people and say, I know week, I don't call it.
No, man, we're not even week. No, man,
a celebration
for life.
Yes, I celebrate. And that means I say, I know why, but I'm going to look at a piece of paper and say, all right, people call it week. Anyway,
a week. No, man, a celebration of a life. And somebody like Sister Minnie, you know, when outside of the church thing and all the thing that goes with the formal thing, people like Sister Minnie, like any other big artists that have to deal with, you have to celebrate them life, you know.
Yes, definitely.
And that's what this is going to be, you know, a real celebration of a life. I mean, black business and all, and you want cheerful colors and people come in and just... Who don't know about Sister Minnie and who don't know enough about her will find out more about her and understand the work, you know, where sisters like this has put in over the years, because sometimes people see people, you know, and they really don't know the sacrifice and the work, you know. So it's really for who don't really know or don't know enough to come to this thing and to find out about Sister Minnie.
Yeah. All right. What farm the celebration going to take? And which part now Hope Yard they going to keep? I just said Hope Yard.
Yes, it's Hope Gardens. It's the Sunken Gardens. That's where they did
the Sunken Gardens. Them. Oh.
Yes.
That's when you come in. As you come in and you turn right. That's all.
Right, man. Yeah, we did Winston Bleaching there too.
Yeah, them play what group yes.
Right, and you know Sister Minnie's a woman who love flowers.
Oh, you mean, man?
She just love flowers. She love green. Anywhere she has flowers and green with, you know. So, and I know she love Hope Gardens. Yeah. So this place is appropriate because it's beautiful.
Yes.
So that will be the place, and we were gonna enhance it, and you know, it's gonna be. When you're walking in the place, you're going to feel spirit of Sister Minnie, because you know she loves drumming.
Yes.
Anywhere Sister Minnie go, and anywhere near being there, anywhere they could drumming there, even when she couldn't walk properly and she in a chair, you have to make a space for her right up front.
Yeah, where the drumming are gone.
Is that what? So it's going to be reflect her life.
Yes, I know that she spent quite a time in a Ghana, and she kind of embraced the spirituality when it in a Ghana, you know.
Yes, man.
I don't know if any of that were included in it, because it's kind of weird that when one of us die, what we was against is what is brought up front with us.
Well, you're so right. You're so right about that, and this is why this celebration is important, because this is going to reflect her. You spot on, Muta. This is what this is supposed to be. You know, things but you that think is controversial, because I think that you think was forceful, things that you think was insightful, things that you think was visionary. All of that is Sister Minnie, so that is where you're going to get.
Yes. All right, what time it start?
It's going to start at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. I will go right back till 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And we'll obviously have musical tributes, because with Sister Minnie you have to have
6 to 1. I wonder. Well, I'm going to talk to Irie and Kaboya if
Well,
there's a possibility to bring the program up there in the Wednesday night there.
I mean, I love that, because even when in the planning thing, and we thought now we going to play the music from Mr. Muta. Yeah. And I said, well, you have work. But when I did
it.
So we just said, the
program start 10 to 2, and you had said they go done 1 o'clock, so it could have gone to the next one too.
What do you mean, man?
I'm going to talk to Cobb about it.
Yeah, because it is, I know that. Well, I will really big up Irie, because I know Irie's going to do a special on her on Sunday morning.
Yes.
From 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
And again, I would love people to tune in and to hear who Sister Minnie was,
Yes. And I really love, I'm going to talk to Cobb about it if we can do
Work it, man, work it, because I don't really like, because the music to be played, right? I mean, the recorded music to be played. It's very important that somebody like yourself who would know.
What to do, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, from them time there.
From them time, right.
Yeah.
So it's, so talk and we could talk,
Yeah, no, we're going to talk tomorrow. We'll talk right. So,
yeah, man, please.
It's next week Wednesday.
Next week Wednesday night, yeah.
Uncle Gardens in
from 6 to 26th.
Yes, and it's from 6 to 1 o'clock.
Yeah, Hope Gardens. And people come out because, we
no, man, people don't come. Well, man, you never have to ask that, You never have to ask that. People don't come, man. I mean,
you food. Exactly.
You're going to say some chief. You're going to say some chief from Africa come too.
Oh, you mean? No, so, but it just make us smile a while ago still, with everything else when you said that you would talk, because I really like you, to be there.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, come out tomorrow and see what's possible.
I see what I work and you let me know.
All right, Bridget, give thanks, yeah?
All right, okay, Muta, thanks.
Yeah, man. Right. That was my brethren, Junior Lincoln. Junior Lincoln is also responsible for a whole heap of the excitement we are going in a Trenchtown, as it refers to revitalizing Trenchtown as a kind of mecca. Because, a whole heap of our famous artists them come from Trenchtown. And Junior Lincoln was one of the men that spearheaded the movement for really revitalize that, especially Ambassador Theatre, where we used to go to when we were a child, we go to Ambassador Theatre. So, yes, Sister Minnie, Hope Garden, Wednesday, and it is a celebration of Sister Minnie's life. And as I say, we really hope so we could have really do this program from there next week. It will be a joy, man. It will be a joy. Okay. So, we just play Ironica. We just play Ironica a while ago. Because that's the name Ironic. If you want to say it, ironically, she'll give me a CD and I can't even say I want to give me a CD where she little. Okay. So, make we play this song. See, a whole heap of ones. Well, Skanking dreaded a long time still, but you have quite a few artists that rise up out of Montego Bay area, we are kind of take headways. The biggest one right now is Reagan King. Yeah, everybody talk about Reagan King now, yes. But quite a few ones on there. You have Ainefa, did a long time too. Used to tour with Jimmy Cliff. Do our own thing. You have when we Bridget look like long time, Okay, all right. We want to play this because it's long time we don't have this feature here, and we see it come forward and we give thanks for that. So we want to play Mrs. Trinia, so now Pat Clark with the Jamaica roots and culture. Here goes.
Welcome to Jamaican Roots and Culture. I'm your host, Pat Clark. We will dip into the island's bread basket and come out with a fruit that many Jamaicans enjoy. In Jamaica, we call it pear, but the rest of the world knows it as avocado. Although the fruit is native to Central America, there's evidence that it has been growing in the island since the days when European explorers made their conquest of Jamaica. Historical records indicate that in 1672, the doctor of King Charles II of England visited Jamaica and described avocado as one of the most pleasant and rare foods of the island. It makes a paste similar to butter and has a very good taste. He noted that it is nourishing and strengthens the body, lifts the spirits, and has a good effect on libido. English settlers called the avocado alligator pear as they compared the skin of the fruit to the skin of an alligator. Historically, there was a time when Englishmen would shy away from publicly consuming the avocado because of an Aztec belief that the fruit is an aphrodisiac. The Englishmen did not want others to think that they did not have natural prowess. European sailors called the avocado midshipman's butter, delicious on hard-track biscuits. In Jamaica, now they're eaten with breads and bullers or even with a main course meal as a vegetable. Some Jamaicans have also adopted the habit of making a guacamole dip with the avocado. This is even served in 5-star hotels. The guacamole has a Mexican origin. There are many varieties of pear in Jamaica. These include the Simmons, English alligator, bottleneck, Lula, Collinsons, and Winslowsons. Some pear are soft and buttery when ripe, others are dry and powdery. Whatever the consistency, they always provide a nice side dish for any meal. Here is our Jamaican proverb for the day. Siaka mout, fish get catch. Because of its mouth, the fish got caught. This means talking too much will get you into trouble. Siaka mout, fish get catch. For Jamaican Roots and Culture, I'm Pat Clark.
Full moon so bright, tropical delight. Happy native dancing, morning, noon, and night.
Yes. So, for those of you who listen to RFM, listen to Cabo in the Sunday morning there, religiously. Cabo has always been trying to educate us on China's role in this what we call new colonialism. I call it new colonialism because it's not the textbook colonialism where people study and say, this is colonialism, you can look in your textbook and see it. But it's a different kind of colonialism where China is actually coming into your country and doing things that you need to be done in your country. But the outcome of them doing it can be very detrimental. Not to the country, but to the serious human welfare of the country. And when we say human welfare, we are talking about the well-being that is supposed to be had when they do these expansions and all these things. You're supposed to feel good, but the long-term effect of it can be very, very serious. Very, very serious. And a whole heap of people don't understand that. Them feel it's trouble we are make when we start to talk this way. A whole heap of people recognize it, even in Africa. And Africa is where the biggest expansion, Chinese expansion taking place. And Jamaica is the biggest expansion in the Caribbean for Chinese. One cannot turn and don't see something that mark Chinese footprint on it. And we are talking about the road expansion, then we are going all over Jamaica at one time. You know, I hear the Prime Minister talk about this. Why they have to do it one time is because they don't have the money to spend, and them have certain things where them have to do before certain things get up on them. Them have to go. Not the grant them. Them talk about the loan. The loan. The weirdest thing, you know, they will borrow money from certain people, and certain people tell them, say, look here, we don't want a Jamaican do it, you know, we want some people who is efficient. And so them say the Chinese is efficient. So them get the Chinese, contract it to the Chinese, and the Chinese now get some lower contractors from Jamaica to do the menial work. But the Chinese, very, very important to what is taking place right now in Africa. Very, very serious things taking place in Africa. And not only in Africa too, we see another country, Sri Lanka. And now this little message, we're going to play this thing from a journalist in Africa where deal with this, where we are talking about just now. So I could play this to the people then, because it's a serious thing going on. And you see, because it is necessary and needed, you know, it's like a drowned man hang on a straw, and you feel, say, you have to do certain things to make the people them see, say, you have to do certain things that by any means necessary, no matter what the cost going to be down the line. You know, down the line, it's going to be terrible, but at the given moment, it's like how they fix the road now. And you look on the road now and say, right, it is inconvenient. But you know, say, it will look nice when it's done. But then now, after it's done, who going to pay for all of that? And when the government falter in them contractual agreement with the Chinese, them, what will the Chinese get to replace what they were offered? What will the Chinese get? So we look into Africa and we say what is going on in Africa, because we say Africa is the biggest Chinese investments are going on in Africa right now. I mean, like large investments. Not to mention Ethiopia. You hope somebody will say, thank God for the Chinese them in Ethiopia to make Ethiopia look different now. Can you believe that? Chinese them in Ethiopia big. First time it was the Arab them. Because what happened now is that the Arab them did start them projects, them big projects in Africa. The Arab them start. As a matter of fact, this is a serious thing. I don't think Ethiopia can truly say that they are a Christian nation anymore. Because you know, say Islam was there from years ago. As a matter of fact, Haile Selassie helped them when they was persecuted. Him take some of them in Ethiopia, but not only that. His mother named Yechima Bet Ali. The name Ali is relating to Islam. And then you did have his wife. And then you have Liji Yasu, who ascended the throne as a Muslim. And because of how Ethiopia set up, you know, you have to be Orthodox. Even though the church came from Egypt, a whole lot of people don't understand that. Them hear that Ethiopia is the oldest Christian empire. And because Ethiopia is the oldest Christian empire, them feel that it's there so Christianity start, but Christianity came to Ethiopia. And Egypt was where the church was, the Egyptian Coptic church, which is that church that crowned Haile Selassie. And then Haile Selassie nationalized the church and put the headquarters in Ethiopia. And there's the Ethiopian Orthodox Church that function in Ethiopia as what we call the national church. But Islam has always been there. And the Muslims, them, with the money, was building and building and building. But now the Chinese come in now. The Chinese come in now. And we see where the Chinese, them are build. We see the Chinese, them are build all over Africa. I mean, everywhere. As a matter of fact, the Chinese, them have more oil in Africa now than America. As we can see within South Africa, where South Africa's biggest trading partners was America, but now it is with China, to the point where now South Africa is part of this, what them call BRICS. For those of you who don't know, but BRICS represent 5 different countries. Brazil, the B in all the BRICS is Brazil. The R in all the BRICS is Russia. The I in all the BRICS is India. And the C in all the BRICS is China. And now the S in all the BRICS is South Africa. So 5 different nations now form a group to counteract even the European community, and them are work, and America is scared of that because anything with Russia and China in a, say can't good for America. So what we say now, we say America is out of the picture as it relates to certain aspects of Africa. Even though Obama militarized a whole heap of it. But now the Chinese, them also are moving for the military night. It's a weird thing going on, It's a weird thing going on. But we want to play this clip here. We're going to play this clip here out of Africa here from a TV station. And make us see if we can find the clip here. So, okay. Hear the clip here now. China in Zambia. Listen.
Great. Although the news that's been coming out is so depressing, and I know I got so many emails about what's happening with Zambia, and a lot of people wanted me to comment on is Zambia now, Zam China. Actually, you guys, it's not even a funny story. Zambia is the first African nation to become a full Chinese colony, and we joke about some of these things, but what has happened is really, really tragic. And I warned you guys this is what was going to happen. But also this shows you that we're closer and closer to a major global war. Because I told you, the Europeans are not going to just sit back and let China take over Africa. Now, what has happened is that Zambia defaulted on a couple of loans. And so they lost their power company, Zesco, and that has been taken over by the Chinese. Their major national electricity company is now being run by China. Now, if that isn't even worse, they've also lost, a few months ago, they lost their Zambia Broadcasting Corporation. It's called the ZNBC. I think it's the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation, which is now fully owned by China. And, the government has been denying that this is the case. They've been trying to play cute. They've been trying to play, like everything is okay. But they have actually been in secret talks over how their national electricity company would be taken over. This is crazy. Do you think an African country would be allowed to run China's national electricity company? And, it just shows you that China's neocolonial strategy is reaching ahead. I mean, it's reaching its climax. They've been doing this covert business for so long. And now, they've got their tentacles so deep inside. They've got their tentacles so deep inside that it's going to be hard for some countries to turn back. Now, what's happened is, their whole strategy is they encourage indebtedness. So, hey, they come with the money. They come with the money. They give you. Then they, once you default, they start to take over strategic assets because of failure of repayment. And you see, what China has done is they have studied countries that are corrupt. They have studied countries that, that are greedy, that have greedy leaders, which is most African nations. And that's why we find most African nations are in this situation. And then they kind of have this, their long-term outcome is the effective ownership of commanding heights of the economy. Remember, I did that thing on the Seven Mountains Prophecy, health, economy, etc., media, entertainment. So they come in, they give you a deal you can't refuse. They pour that money on you. And then all of a sudden, they come collecting. And they're very vicious when they start collecting. And you know what? Even the Chinese government, they know they actually have a problem in Zambia and other nations. But you know what they said? They were just like, us, we're protecting the Chinese. If your people cannot negotiate for you, if Zambians cannot if the Zambian government and the Zambian politicians cannot look after the entrance of Zambia, that's not our fault. But this is not going to be possible. And you know what? I was doing deeper research into this matter, and it gets even worse. Now, you know, Zambia's president was actually in China last week for the China-Africa Summit, and I'll talk in the future about the $61 billion or $60 billion that the Chinese government allegedly gave to Africa with no strings. There ain't no free lunch. Come on, guys. There ain't no free lunch. And one of the biggest problems with all these deals that China has signed with African governments is we don't know what they've done. We don't know what they've signed away. We don't know the kind of agreements they've made, because all of them were done hush-hush and behind the scenes. So all we're being told in Africa and in China is, oh, China's giving Africa money. Oh, you're getting money. Oh, they're funding this. Oh, they're funding that. Oh, they're funding infrastructure projects. But we're not told, okay, the debt repayment is this percentage, and if you fail to pay this percentage, you know, you're going to be in trouble. We're not told that. We're not told what concessions have been made. In fact, I know this is not about Kenya. Sorry, guys, I'm a bit obsessive about Kenya, but I've been told Kenya, they built this crappy railway line, and if we don't pay, they're going to get one of our ports in Mombasa. Anyway, that's just a story for another day. Now, this guy, so President Edgar Lungu, he visited Chinese companies while he was in China. Not only have you lost Zesco, the electricity company, you've lost your media company. He actually had the nerve. Some of these guys, man, he actually had the nerve to go visiting Chinese companies, and he received a grant of a further $30 million for the Lusaka East Multi-Facility Economic Zone Electrification Project, whatever that means. So these guys can give you like high blood pressure, man. It's crazy. And so President Edgar Lungu, he came to power basically Zambia signed an $8 billion, when he came to power, Zambia signed an $8 billion Chinese loans in financing. Now, over $5 billion of this hasn't been added to the total. Now, that's what Zambia is claiming. They're claiming they haven't received $5 billion, or they haven't been able to account for $5 billion of the $8 billion. Although China says it was dispersed, it was released. And get this, the finance ministry doesn't even have the manpower to police and monitor and disburse the funds. And the financial penalties, because I told you, a lot of these deals are done in secret. We don't know. So the financial penalties of actually backing out of a Chinese deal are worse than the savings than just going through with the project till its completion. So a lot of contracts have been signed in secret. It's a problem. We don't know what our governments have done. And that's why I am telling you, in the next few years, because, you know, the next election for Zambia is, I think, 2020, somewhere there, you're going to see a lot of African governments toppling. A lot of African governments toppling because they have sold our souls to the devil, literally. Just check out how, you know, Zambia, by the way, Zambia has been allowing Chinese immigrants to come in since 1964. And now, after all this happened, the Chinese have even taken a road. One of the main roads that's even on the national map of Zambia. They just took a road that appears on the map. You can Google freaking Zambia right now and you'll see that road, and the Chinese have just blocked it off. Like they own the country. This is total madness. Seriously, what are our politicians doing? Yo, young Africans, we need to get it together. Like seriously, we need to get it together. We need to arise. We need to get out of our stupor, our slumber, our coma, whatever it is. We need to stop feeling sorry for us, you know, for ourselves, and just arise, man, and fight for what is ours. I mean, this is what our grandparents fought for independence for. Many died and were tortured. And you know what? So not only have a lot of contracts being signed in secret, but we don't know what our governments have signed off. And in Zambia, Zambia has one of the longest relationships with China. among African countries. It started in 1964, 5 months after independence is when this relationship started. And China has been given uncontrolled access to Zambian resources by over-borrowing and allowing Chinese unfiltered emigration. And it's reached such a high tension level. And I'd love it if my Zambian brothers and sisters who watch my show would just even expound, share your story, share your testimony, guys. It's reached such an uncontrollable level that now the Chinese have even moved into, the African neighborhoods. And they're creating tension. They're even selling maize on the streets. So here in Africa, we have guys so when you're stuck in traffic and stuff in the major cities, guys will be selling everything from aprons to knickers, undies, to handkerchiefs, to water, to crisps. Now, imagine seeing Chinese people doing that business. Imagine seeing Chinese on the side of the road, roasting maize, and it's becoming a problem. And in fact, I was reading there's been such a high influx of Chinese to Zambia since 2015 that many believe, many have started thinking this was Chinese government driven. Of course, they're happy for their people to be, to emigrate and take over and colonize. They're happy for that. And then when these guys commit crimes, because a lot of them have committed crimes, and there's this brilliant article from Lusaka Times which talked about the various crimes that have been committed. The Chinese, a lot of corrupt Chinese have moved to Zambia. A lot of thugs and criminals who are into corrupt deals. So corruption has reached epic proportions in Zambia. And when the government tries to call out the Chinese, what happens? The Chinese government says, don't touch my people, don't touch my people. It's crazy. It's madness. It's nuts. And it's become such a problem because contractors are moving, traders, wholesalers, farmers, manufacturers, importers, exporters, and criminals who want to seize the vast resources of Zambia and are looking for an escape route from poverty because China just came out of being a third world country. And it's even become common now for people to say China first, Zambia last. Imagine. So, a lot of Zambians have been complaining because Chinese have been allowed to acquire large tracts of land. So there's little land left for Zambians. You guys, you're thinking it's a joke when I say Zambia is now a Chinese colony. There's been a lot of loss of employment opportunities because they're bringing everyone, cooks, bakers, electricians who learn online, engineers who learn online. They've brought a lot of lawlessness and corruption. They're crowding out Zambian SMEs because they're even doing the small business of even selling maize on the streets. And they're racist. And a lot of Zambians have complained about the racism and the environmental degradation. They're even in Zambian markets. Where the Zambians now you go, you sell your vegetables and your fruits. They're even there selling fruits and vegetables and competing with Zambians. It's shame on the Zambian government. Shame, shame, shame on President Edgar Lungu or whatever his name is. Shame on him. And the sad thing is, because of all the loans that have signed and because of the defaulting, future Chinese generations will be entitled to Zambia's precious resources. So the children that have not even been born will be born into a neo-colonial China. Might as well call, Zambia a colony of China. It's a mess. And something needs to happen. Imagine something needs to happen. Guys, we need to awaken. We need to get out of our stupor, get out of our problems. Zambia, you guys need a revolution. You guys need a revolution, man. You guys need something. You guys need to awaken, aren't you? Are you just going to stand by and let this happen? Anyway, guys, it's my first show back and I'm already...
R.E.F.M. Thought-provoking, always smoking, lyrics like a bazooka. You are listening to Mutabaruka, Baruka. The land thing, really and truly, Sister P went to China and whenever I hear she said nothing when she come back, about what transpired in China. But we see a whole heap of movement of Chinese all over the place now. I mean, like Chinese, they're everywhere now. And you hear the late sister talk about Zambia a while ago, where there's certain things where, you know, white people go to a certain country, they not do certain things, you know. Whereas the Chinese people, you just say, I market them, they sell now, you know. I sell flowers on the road, you know. But what? Them a bill, and them a bill, and them a bill. Now, the main source of energy is controlled by Chinese in Zambia. And we still can't say, you know, say, you have to take sleep and mark that. You have to take sleep and mark that, you know. And really and truly, we are going now, in Jamaica, yeah, them nah go say what we are say. Them nah go accept what we are say. Even though them see it out unfold in front of them eyes in other countries, especially in Africa. Now, Sri Lanka and over them port to China to pay off debt. Sri Lanka, you know, this is not an African nation, you know, but them also they borrow money and can't pay it. So now the Chinese, them control the port in Sri Lanka. You have some countries where we have to make mention of, like Pakistan, Laos, Fiji. These countries owe millions of pounds to the Chinese. Them lend them money and know so them can't pay it, we pay it. So eventually them going to say, so what you have to give me for what you owe me? You don't have no money, so we want land. Because land is the basis of power. Land is the basis of power. If you don't have any land, you don't have any power. And these people know that from long time. So, the top, I make us say, the top African countries, there's certain African countries where almost sell out to China already. And one of them is Angola, Ethiopia. Ethiopia is really the one where we hear the Ethiopian, them glad to see where I go. I mean, you're glad, it's not anything, you know. We're so poor and so dilapidated in our country that any straw will come and go and hold on it. The drowned man hold on straw, hoping say we're going to get saved. So because we're in a certain way and certain life, anything will look glitterous and glamorous, we're going to hold on it, and that is where we see governments, poor third world countries, say, them say America never offer them that infrastructure development, because infrastructure development is where you see infrastructure. You see money a pass and well you can't get it. It's only certain people US dollar pass in them hand. But infrastructure is where you can walk on the road and actually see the infrastructure go up and you say, yes, the country progress. So when you look on the road you look on the highway, it's a beautiful highway. But at what cost? And we see the African country, them get buying up in it. Kenya is the next one. You know, the Republic of the Congo, you know, where them build a parliament building in the Congo. If you ever see the building, when all them government ministers say that the building where the Chinese build, because I know so they must know. They must look at it and say, it's one like this we want. In a race course, in a Heroes Park. It's one like this we want you build on you, so we will give you some land for it. Just like how a whole heap of hundreds of acres of land was given after the highway done. So when you look at the Congo, with the parliament building where the Chinese them building, like you say, wow, yes, because you can't see it. It's your eye behold this development, you know, and you can't see the bigger picture. It's like you had long like carrot in front of the cat, the cat. You know, you dangle the rabbit, you dangle the carrot in front of the rabbit. You have Sudan, I will mention Zambia, Cameroon, Nigeria, and Ghana. Ghana is the next one. Ghana is the next one. Big problem in Ghana. Because the American them there, and then the Chinese them come there, and the Japanese them there too. So, places where we usually go and say, Ghanaian craft. It's like when the Indian them down here sell Jamaican craft, and when you look, you see it marked made in Japan, made in China, and all that. It hurt you. Because you know, so the indigenous craft market, you just cross the road. And if you go through Walker's Wood, you go up a Walker's Wood area there, you will see the indigenous Jamaican craft. But guess what? When the tourists them come off of the boat, them just get shipped to the Indian Mall and the Indian Plaza and all them places there. And the little Jamaican black people them who sit down there and just suck that. And when you look, the tourists them actually believe that some Jamaican craft from Mecca and so them a buy. It's a made in China, made in Taiwan thing. Well, look, red, gold, and green. Look at all the flag them, you see them a hold up a holiday time. The government should be ashamed to celebrate independence, and when you look at the flag, it will look like a Jamaican flag. Because the flag supposed to be black, gold, and green. And no gold in them flag there. And no anya so them make. It's not anya so them make. Why we can't make Jamaican flag anya so with the right colors them? Like when we look at all Rasta make flag. When Rasta make flag, because them all make flag too, you know, but we know they have Rasta on here. We make sure so they make them flag. And you see gold in it, black, real black, Marcus Garvey flag, real green and real red. Real red, real gold and real green. But the Jamaican flag gone clear of China. At China, they make the flag, them everybody there wave flag in all of the flag them in a stadium when them have gala. A made in China flag, what kind of madness that? What kind of madness is that? And then you don't see nothing wrong with that. You don't see something happen. Something is happening where we can't picture it. It's just we who depend on the radio now create problem and complicate the issue, and there's no complication according to where them think. They make you think. It's not complicated, we need development. And the Chinese, them is here to develop the place, and then we will work it out. What is all these road buildings are going simultaneously all over the island? You hear them say them will start now Harbour View to Porant Bay. You hear them say them will start the bypass of Montego Bay. Everything are going one time. 3 Mile get locked down. Canton Spring get locked down. The other day them have Barbican locked down. Them still work on Barbican. Them add more things from Barbican. So, all of these things look nice. And we can't see beyond it. Because them don't allow you to see beyond it. Because if somebody come and show you beyond it, you tell them a create problem and make mischief. And you don't want the development and progress. But when we understand progress, because we understand, say, right now the Chinese, the country of China is the most polluted country in the earth, on the earth. Pollution is rampant in China. So what is going to happen now when we can't recognize that this thing and see it go on in front of our eyes, you know? Look in Africa, look in a certain part of Asia, and you see what is happening in these places. And then now you can't really figure it out. You can't figure it out. Me who never go to political school and never have no understanding about this and that, about laws and economics and all these things. Me don't know nothing about them something there, but me can say, me have a thought, I have a thinking in my head, me have my mind, me have my body, I have my soul, and me have all my faculties intact. And me can analyze things, and me recognize certain things, and me recognize, say, that the governments of these poor countries, so-called developing and underdeveloped countries, need help. But because them need the help for sure, the people them say them might do something for them country, them go in a some deal with these countries that is not beneficial to the country in the long term. So all when them dead and gone, and your grand picnic there so, them going to have to go and pay the Chinese picnic them who these people who have built the road are dead and gone. And the president of China got dead and gone. But in picnic them going to, hey, what do them, man? What is wrong with these people? Why is we the problem when we talk about these things? And you can't see it. It's not like say you talk iPhone. It's not like you talk about the rapture. When nobody don't know about the rapture. You know, you live 2,000, 3,000 years and wait for this rapture, and the rapture not coming. Well, we are living outside, you know, the Chinese come. Why we can't say, look, you know, our country, this, you know, we can't go to China go do certain things, you know. Because, you know, black people in the government of China. You know, see, China people who have power and married to black people. They may sleep with them, and they may traffic them, and people don't like you talk this thing, but it's true. Chinese government, people have power in China, don't marry to black people. Black women, not talk about. But them you sleep with them in some house or some place, and them you traffic them from Africa, them take them from all Africa, and also anywhere them can find them. India and all these places, and traffic them as sex slave and all sort of thing. But you're not going to say a Chinese member of governmental man arms with him wife and is a black woman. We look like all, me don't know. But it's just weird. Why we can't see it? Why we can't see it? What is it that them have over our eyes so that we can't see it? And we're going to play back this tune here. We play it when the program starts, and we're going to play it again. It's a old tune. Old tune. But guess what? It's so relevant and so significant that them man have see it from them time they talk. So, in my articulate it, and we're going to play it again. It takes a revolution, man. A revolution. Revolution is just change, you know. But the people, them, is placed in a time warp of stagnant. Them stagnant. The people, them, think them seeing, but them blind. Some people think them know, but them believe in. The majority of things that we believe, we know, will start to us before we turn teenager. Yeah? The majority of what we believe we know will start to us before we turn teenager, and it stick to it even when we get old in a rocking chair. You know, if you remember things where you used to, your granny or your mother used to do when you're picnic, them things they not left you more. Sometimes some things will left you. You're frightened for no say 2 years ago you did do certain things and you can't remember. But you remember some things where your grandmother or your mother used to do when you're picnic. And we should tell you from your picnic and all them something there. Most of the things that we know will start to us. Or what we believe we know will start to us by people who believe them know too. And that is the travesty of the thing now. That we are taught to believe in things by people who believe in the things that them don't know about. And we have to get conscious of that. We have to get conscious of it to the point where we just broke away. That's why revolution is necessary. Will you probably a slave and don't know it? because we can't go so bam and go in our store and buy false hair and false eyelash. I go buy a Clark shoes and put on a gold chain and tattoo up his skin and take a plane. We say, yes, we're free. But that freedom sometimes is dumb. Dumb. That freedom, dumb. And we go to church every Sunday. I pray to Sky God. But when you look on the situation where you find yourself, you wonder, oh, you pray so much and that keeps so nice and thing, and you still have suffer to the core. But them have something to tell you about that too. Them say, yeah, you suffer here, so but in heaven you will have joy and peace. And them never go enjoy that yet. So them believe it to the point where them feel say something where them know. And they also was taught by people who believe them know. And the chain of events that lead us to this continue right down into history. And sometimes it deep in our DNA. And they make sure of that. They make sure say it's so deep that I will shake it off, we're sorry. And we are fret. And we get fearful and frightened of the new faculty and how we start to interpret things different. The ideas just start to spin around in a way that we say, I wonder if I get crazy. And you know you don't get crazy neither, you know. Because only for the thoughts where you have in your childhood days. The question then where you used to ask before you reach teenager. The question then where you used to ask, you know. A legitimate questions where the people them who believe can't answer. So through them can't them say, no, nobody ask me them foolishness there. Or them say, don't question this or don't question that. Them think they're bigger than you. And you grow up now, you realize, but me did ask the question, and I never get the answer. I want answer now. I'm not going to search my own answer. When you search your own answer now, you say that's not logical. Let them tell you. So they have to use the logics from the people them who put you in the mess in the first place. Who make you believe, say you know, and you really don't know. You really don't know. Most of the things that we claim so we know is believe it. Because how we're going to validate what they teach us. We try to validate what they teach us by going into the same school mentality, going into the same church mentality that they put there, forget to answer, to validate what them teach you, to make you feel so what them teach you is a right thing. It's like a man I tell you say something in the Bible. I tell him say, but how you know say are true? And point to the next part in the Bible. What I think the people usually say, when the Bible say 7 God made the earth in 6 days. 6 days. I tell him say, you really believe in 6 days? You think say God believe that is them point it up way around at the back of the Bible now we say a year is like a 1,000, 1 day like 1,000 years unto the Lord. So that not supposed to shut you up. Because here is something in a Genesis and then point it to something weird on the other part of the book now for validate what them say. So them I use the same book for validate the same book. So them believe. But them repeat it and regurgitate it so much that them start to come like knowledge. It start to come like something that is unquestionable. You can't question these things. You're not supposed to question those things. Who is you? Those knowledge was there from a long time, but it's not knowledge. It's not knowledge. It's not knowledge. Because if we didn't know what we know now, then things would are different. So when the teachers them come and show us certain things, because we're so indelible, in too deep, can't figure out for ourselves. We don't want to use our brains to figure out nothing. Because everything is placed there for you. Like a restaurant, them cook the food for you. So we want everything like a restaurant. So we're not real. That's why, when the zombie train trippy now, when you start to become like a zombie. When fellas say, them say left, right, you talk about so you left, right the right all the while. And keep doing the wrong. And that's where African people find themselves in right now. Right now. You can't see that. Just go out in the road and look. Whether it's middle day, bright day, or whether it's rainy day, or whether it's just a normal day. Just go outside in the street and look at African people. It's pathetic. Pathetic. Oh, them grab way and have way. Go there, move this, wear this, drink that, eat that. Do all sorts of things. I will start to engulf yourself and surround yourself with the madness. And start to, because keep repeating itself so much in front of it and become a part of the reality. For them reality. We start to accept it as our reality. So we start to let it out like it's our thing. And when you look on them, all by the things them where them teach we if you believe. And we start to believe it and start to feel say we know it. Them not believe it. Them just use it for control we. Them use it for control we. Them not believe what them a say. All by the thing them a say, them not believe it. But them to say, oh, them can control you and manipulate you by doing that. And suck out your blood. And draw out your mineral resources. And make you think say, yeah, no worry man, no worry, things are going better for you. Things are going better for you, man. Just wait till you're dead. Everything going to be alright. And meanwhile, them are going to boom, 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 and for them children. And for you just keep going on. Well, we're going to wake up. We have to wake up. We have to wake up. But they are too long on earth. We were the first people there on earth. And the earth going there forever and ever. All of them can't destroy the planet. Them can't destroy the planet. Them going to destroy human being capability to live on this planet. That is why them make ears for go find other sources. Wait till them show us the water there another place. That's what happen. Because water is the life source. Water is the energy that them are search for. That we want. Every human being. Every living thing. So wait till them find water somewhere and see what happen. So all this argument when we are talking about the tree, can you imagine you live in a world, a concrete jungle, where if you want to see a tree, you have to pay money, take Uber, take taxi, carry your lunch box, or rent a car with your family. Like how we are going to a beach now. I like how we are going to a river now. We have to go to a place where everybody gather around and look on this tree and say, wow, this is what was on the earth all over the place. Now it's only certain place you can find it, and guess what? And them own it. They're going to charge you money for go look on the tree. They're going to charge you money to look at the tree. Just like how we didn't know about lion in Africa, and now we have to pay to go look at one lion in a zoo. Who you think create zoo? I know we create zoo. We used to live with the animal them. Talk to the animal, say, go some move from here. So, like how you talk to the dog in your yard. You talk to the lion, them tiger and everything. Yes, elephant, you ride elephant and all the things them necessary. Now you have to what? You have to pay money to go and look at a lion. Black people who did have lion in their yard. When you go to Haile Selassie Palace, and you say, oh, Haile Selassie, lion run up in a yard like dog. You have man all ride the lion them. And now we have to pay money to go look on a lion. And that's what them get to. Just like how them used to put you in a cage in a Europe, for Europe and in America, for people come round me and say, oh, look at that black person, black person, black person. Not no one can remember. Forget the South African woman who's there in Europe as a, it's like almost like a mannequin. So you think them things are far? If I hear big youth are saying lion in the jungle, this is a concrete jungle. Dread in a Babylon, I should have find a tune that this is the Cutting Edge on RFM. Yes, this is the Cutting Edge on RFM. We are going through the pieces, you know them there. I try to figure out the state of the African mind, state of the African consciousness. And we want to play this, you know, let's see if we can play this.
Skin bleaching, skin lightening, skin toning, skin brightening. Whatever you may call it, we've all heard of it. Rumors of celebrities lightening their skin, magazines making darker women lighter in photos, or even family members bleaching. But why? If black is beautiful and melanin is popping, then why is there a global issue with people of darker skin tones putting their life at risk when it comes to their complexion? Self-hate. The term self-hate implies that the person hates themselves, but yet doesn't look at the underlying reasons: insecurities, brainwashing, bullying, history, conditioning, manipulation, society, and the power of the media. Self-hate can be expressed in different ways. Some people may externalize their self-hatred and hate anyone that looks like them or reminds them of themselves. Some people may internalize self-hatred by changing their appearance. But what is the main cause of this self-hate? Black women have been taught that their features don't fit with mainstream beauty standards. Well, at least not on black women. Those features may be beautiful on lighter-skinned women or white women, but just not on dark skin. But the question is, who taught you to hate your skin?
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
You may not even realize, but this self-hate is part of a large-scale conditioning, a much bigger plan. Sometimes you may hear black men and even people of other races make claims that black women hate themselves. They'll say things like, you hate yourself. That's why you wear hair from other races on your head. That's why you bleach. Or, that's why you're trying to look like a white woman. I'm pretty sure some of these sound familiar, but many people never take into consideration the reasons why. Think of the last statement I made when I said, that's why you're trying to look like a white woman. Trying to look like a white woman, a European woman, a European, which leads me to the European beauty standards. The European standards of beauty emphasize skin color and hair types that exclude black women of darker skin. Now, it might make sense that white people would create their own beauty ideals that represents what they see as beautiful within their own race of women. But why would they then feel the need to force these same beauty standards on African women and other highly melanated women? What could Europeans gain by forcing these beauty standards on black women? Why would a group of people teach another group of people to hate themselves? Think of it like this. If you love yourself and are secure in yourself, you wouldn't be affected by other people, what they do, or how they look. But if you yourself had self-esteem issues, were envious and jealous, then of course you may want other people to hate themselves, just so you feel better about yourself. Think of the European beauty standards as a jealous, bitter old woman. She has low self-esteem. She hates what she sees. She's jealous and angry. She'll go as far as disfiguring someone who is prettier than she is. And in order for her to feel good, she needs everyone else to feel ugly. But where did this manipulation all start? If we look at slavery and stories of enslaved black women being forced to wrap their hair by demand of the slave master's wife, Why would the slave master's wife force the African women to hide their thick, tightly curled, full hair? Unless they were jealous. Or what if they saw how the white man would lust after black women? Could the European beauty standard have been created to make white women feel better about themselves? During slavery, whether it be the transatlantic slave trade or the Arab slave trade, we were taught to hate ourselves, our features, our skin, our hair, and even our culture. Although slavery is over, to an extent, we're still being taught to hate ourselves by our family, our friends, our community, the media, TV, magazines, and social media. The media now not only wants us to hate ourselves, but also pushes their products on us. You're ugly, but if you buy our products, you'll be beautiful. But at what cost? Is it just a case of $20, 20 pounds, or 20 euros for a jar of beauty? But with this so-called beauty comes all sorts of health implications. Kidney damage, hair loss, damage to the nervous system, skin rashes, hyperpigmentation, permanent scarring, a reduction in the skin's resistance to infections, and even death. Strange how these products are stacked openly in the beauty aisle rather than the toxic chemical section. For one moment, imagine you had a very long nose, and you were constantly told that you were ugly because of your nose. People would tell you that if you had a different nose, you'd be more attractive. And every day you see commercials or products telling you you could have a shorter nose. And if you had a shorter nose, you'd be accepted, you'd be attractive, you'd stop being bullied, ridiculed, and disrespected. You're being told that you no longer have to be in mental pain. Now imagine if you have dark skin and you're told that you're ugly because of your complexion, or you'd be prettier if you were lighter. Or how about when some black men try to mask their dislike of dark skin by saying that they have a preference for light-skinned women? Could you blame someone for simply wanting to be accepted, be seen as beautiful, and to feel wanted by their own people? Remember I said that the European beauty standard was part of a bigger plan. It's part of their own insecurity. Destroy and steal everyone else's culture so that you feel better about your own lack of culture. Tell everyone that they are ugly and you are beautiful so that everyone else tries to emulate you, simply so you feel better about yourself. In order for the Europeans to successfully enslave African people, they had to justify their actions by making claims that they were the superior race, the most intelligent, the most beautiful, and even godly. To confirm their delusions, they had to place dark-skinned Africans at the bottom of every totem pole. They assigned negative connotations to the words black and African. European scientists even started studies to look for evidence that to be white was superior and to be black or dark was inferior. The IQ tests, cranial measurements, comparing college-graduated westernized Caucasians to indigenous African people without European academic backgrounds, just to prove their theories. This justified their need to colonize Africa and enslave other humans. They told the world that they were doing us all a favor. Lucky us. We've all heard of the Willie Lynch letter. In a nutshell, it talks about pitting dark-skinned and light-skinned slaves against each other. Now, whether you believe the Willie Lynch letter to be real or not, the concept is very real and has definitely been in effect. During slavery and colonialism, the Europeans would tell the lighter-skinned Africans that they were more beautiful and intelligent than their darker-skinned counterparts. They would place lighter-skinned and biracial slaves to work in the house. Now you have division, envy, and hatred. The European would use the Bible to make claims that if you were black, you were evil or an abomination to God, whilst being white was as close to heavenly as possible. White people would constantly tell black people that they weren't even human and they had no souls. Although some people will continue to say, but slavery is over or colonialism is over in certain parts of the world. But the reality is the psychological effects were never dealt with. The scars were never allowed to heal. As slavery was abolished, a new form of slavery was introduced, the slavery of the media, the mind. After centuries of conditioning, brainwashing, and media programming, white skin and features was seen as the epitome of beauty. There were ads and commercials that showed black people washing their hands to reveal white skin, or white women washing black babies till they became white. This continuous targeting of black people made black people believe that there was something wrong with them. They used to portray blackness as an illness, a health condition that could be remedied with these products. Could you imagine how many impressionable minds were affected by this? Whiteness was the ideal. It was something to aspire to. And if you could somehow find a way to be close to white as possible, well, then you were now moving up in society. White or light skin represented beauty and status. The lighter you were, the more money you had. Children of lighter skin would be complimented by their dark-skinned parents and told how beautiful they are. The dark-skinned children started to have complexes based on their skin. They would question why they would never receive compliments about their beauty or their skin tone. And in some cases, the darker child may be told, "You're pretty or beautiful," even though you have dark skin. Children are taught from an early age that their dark skin is a hindrance. You may be aware of the doll test.
Can you show me the doll that you like best or that you'd like to play with?
This one. I like that one.
Okay.
This one.
That one?
So this is an experiment with dollies, where them put a black and a white dolly in front of a black child and tell them must choose the one will look prettier. And the black child pick up the white dolly and then say, "Show me the one will look ugly." And then pick up the black one. And then they'll reverse the argument with the white youth. And them go through the same progress. So the experiment is that even at a child, a black dolly look terrible to a black child, and a white dolly is the epitome of beautiful and how your baby should have look when you grow up. That is psychological, serious.
It plays a huge role in how we see the world and also how we see ourselves. Type black men into Google images and you'll see an array of dark-skinned, highly melanated black men. Very few light-skinned or even mixed-looking men. Black men are definitely represented. But type in black women into Google images and you'll see a mixture of brown skin, light skin, mixed, and dark skinned women, even some near white looking women. Now type in beautiful women and see the search results. Or how about the phrase, "What is beauty?" Many people attack those who bleach or lighten their skin without actually taking into consideration the cause and effect. Do these people hate themselves, or have they been conditioned to not see their own beauty? Have they even been given much of a chance in the first place? Imagine a world where every image of beauty was that of a black woman, and every image to represent the word ugly or negativity was the image of a white woman. Imagine every time you typed in the word thug, an image of a white person came up. And every time you typed in the image successful, an image of a black person came up. Some people may say, well, they just need to see themselves as beautiful and not let the media affect them. But is it really that simple? Let's look up body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphic disorder, or BDD, occasionally still called dysmorphophobia, is a mental disorder characterized by the obsessive idea that some aspects of one's own body part or appearance is severely flawed and warrants exceptional measures to hide or fix their dysmorphic part on their person. In short, no matter the reality, whenever that person looks in the mirror, they will always see something that they deem hideous or ugly to themselves. No matter what they do, no matter how many times they change it, no matter if they bleach or have cosmetic surgery. My belief is that many black people who bleach or change their facial features to fit with white media suffer from a form of ethnic body dysmorphia. They are continuously bombarded with images of white beauty and anti-blackness, that they can't ever see themselves as beautiful. I'd like to highlight Michael Jackson's nose as an example. It has been documented that Michael Jackson underwent numerous procedures on his nose to obtain an ideal look that he was searching for, a look that in essence he could never obtain, because he himself would always see the same nose he started with, no matter how much it changed. The same nose that he was ridiculed for having by his own father. He was bullied and conditioned so much as a child that he would never be able to see the beauty in his own features. I also want to note that I am not relating Michael Jackson to skin bleaching, as it also has been documented that Michael Jackson suffered from a skin condition known as vitiligo, which causes the sufferer to lose pigmentation on their skin due to a lack of melanin production. Body dysmorphic disorder exists within the black psyche because of the effects of forced cultural assimilation and the internalizing of racist ideologies that have been pushed and forced on black people. I truly believe that skin bleaching and the alteration of our features is a mental health issue that stems from centuries of conditioning and white inferiority propaganda and media. Most people will never look at skin lightening as a mental illness. as their first thought is that it is due to vanity. Therefore, this mental disorder goes unnoticed and untreated. Body dysmorphia is a psychological disorder where the sufferer is obsessed with a perceived deformity of some physical characteristic, usually centering around skin, facial features, or some other specific body part. Studies state that body dysmorphic disorder is more common in people whose biological family members also have the condition, indicating that there may be at least one gene associated with this disorder, which supports the idea that this form of self-hate has been passed down from generation to generation by not only just media influence and brainwashing, but also genetically. Of course, your environment and life experiences will contribute to body dysmorphic disorder, especially if they involve negative experiences about your body or self-image. But within the context of people of the African diaspora and assimilative behavior, it is clear that these behaviors are related and should be looked at as a collective mental illness, especially when there are people that will bleach their baby skin shortly after birth. But does this issue affect women only? No. I remember a few years ago watching a documentary based in Jamaica about the skin bleaching epidemic. Although the majority of the people on the documentary were women, there were also a few men that regularly bleached their skin, but dismissed this practice as merely a fashion trend. I remember quite vividly one guy saying, "Some days I want to be dark, and some days I want to be light. It's no big deal. It's just fashion." As though bleaching your skin was akin to wearing a coat, a hat, or even wearing makeup. We could list famous men such as Sammy Sosa or Vybz Kartel and lots more who have all bleached their skin. Vybz Kartel claimed the only reason he started bleaching his skin was so that his tattoos would stand out and be more visible. Vybz Kartel even launched his own range of skin lightening creams. I read a long time ago that a man's value increases with age, whilst a woman's value decreases with age, based on beauty and power. In a patriarchal society, women's value is based on their looks, whilst a man's value is based on his success or power rather than his physical appearance. This might explain why more women are affected by the issue of skin bleaching than men. Women are judged much more harshly based on their looks than men are. These men may still have the same form of body dysmorphia, but their self-hate may be more externalized than internalized. So they may try to obtain what they deem as success to overcompensate for what they feel is unattractive or even date a non-black woman. The skin bleaching epidemic is a global issue, whether it be in the Caribbean, Latin America, Africa, the United States, Canada, or even Asia. Many Latinos or Hispanics will claim that race and the color or darkness of your skin is not an issue in Latin American countries. But this is a lie. Blanqueamiento or mejor de la raza is the practice of dating, marrying, and producing offspring with lighter or white Hispanics instead of black Hispanics. Mejor de la raza, which translates to bettering the race, teaches children that dark skin is not good enough, and you must date outside of your race to create something beautiful or better. As a person of Jamaican and Puerto Rican parentage, one of the things that stood out to me when visiting either one of these islands was within the stores that sold skin bleaching creams, many of these products were sold by Asians. Asian people selling black people products to look like white people. But how dangerous is skin bleaching? Many times we read about side effects and the possibilities. But what is the likelihood of these side effects actually coming to fruition? Skin bleaching can lead to serious skin and health conditions, which include thinning of the skin, redness, and intense irritation, dark gray spots, skin cancer, acne, osteoporosis, neurological and kidney damage due to a high level of mercury used in the creams, psychiatric disorders, asthma, liver damage, and severe birth defects in children born to mothers who have bleached. Skin bleaching can indeed lead to death. The likelihood of somebody bleaching their skin, suffering with one of these side effects, is a guarantee. So how do we counteract this mental disorder? Firstly, I believe that we must create our own beauty standards. Push and continue to push that black beauty in all forms is incredible and beautiful. DDS magazine is a great start. It shows young black girls and black women that dark skin is beautiful. It shows images of women that look like you. I am a great believer of positive reinforcement. It took a process of hate to create this mental disorder, and it will take a process of love to reverse this problem. Knowledge and information about this issue is a necessity. The more you know, the better you are armed at dealing with this problem. It's not a case of attacking or shaming people that bleach their skin. I hate when people judge people who bleach their skin without taking into account colonialism and the impact of European beauty standards on melanated people. People who bleach should be seen for what they are, victims of brainwashing, mental conditioning, and psychological trauma. The action to bleach is also caused as a response to those who insist on upholding European beauty standards and mindsets. The practice of colorism and colorist beauty standards negatively impact the lives of dark-skinned women in particular. People simply want to be accepted. It's human to want to be seen as beautiful. People that bleach are victims of colonialism and colorism. The act of skin bleaching is a symptom of a distorted beauty image created by Europeans. Those that bleach are not the cause of the problem, but in fact, victims of a disease. We don't chastise sufferers of mental health, so why would we chastise people that bleach? I don't think they should be shamed for their actions, reactions, and response. Instead, they need understanding and to be taught and shown that dark skin is beautiful. They need understanding and for the message to be spread far and wide that yes, deep melanin is beautiful, precious, and fine in all its glory. I've placed a link in the description to a video called Dear Dark Skin Girl. I would appreciate it if everyone was to share this video. Peace, love, and coconut oil.
Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on IRFM going through the PSAs. Alright, so we reached this stage now. I could play this. Here we go.
Here is your latest Africa News Update.
We've been saying, this issue of the land, this issue that Donald Trump fears so much, we offer this question of the land. I don't know what Donald Trump has to do with South African land.
Okay, I can tell you who this is. This is the president of America. Sorry, of South Africa, answering Donald Trump argument. So this is him answer to Donald Trump. I could start it all.
Is your latest Africa News Update.
We've been saying, this issue of the land, this issue that Donald Trump fears so much, we offer this question of the land. I don't know what Donald Trump has to do with South African land because he's never been here. And he must keep his America. We will keep our South Africa. That's what he must do. South Africa is our land. South Africa belongs to all the people who live here in South Africa. It does not belong to Donald Trump. He can keep his America. And Ene is even worse. He is even worse. When I meet him, I will tell him. I will say, you, Donald Trump, you are even worse because your forebears came to America. They found the indigenous Americans. They wiped them out. They killed nearly all of them. We are living as a nation, and black and white, we are going to find solutions for our land question. So Donald Trump must leave us alone. He must leave us alone, Maori. When we were facing apartheid, when we were facing oppression, he was not here. He did not fight side by side with us. And we were able, on our own, yes, with support of progressive forces in the world, to resolve the apartheid question. As far as I recall, Donald Trump was not around the negotiating table when we negotiated the end of apartheid. So stick around there in the White House. We will do our business here and we will find solutions for our problem. So stay out of our issues and we will not get involved in your issues in America. You have your own problems. Leave us alone.
Do you have any African news tips? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to get the latest African news.
Continent! The end! The end!
Yes, that was a message to the President of America from the President of South Africa. I say, we can't talk. Well, the government of Jamaica can't talk them way at all, you know. I just say all visas cancel and all sanctions against anybody, any American company who trade with Jamaica, and no tourists must come here. Then you're going to see if you have to find a way out for yourself. Anyway, we're going to take some phone call, operator. If any call out there, send them in, make us see we are going out there. Yes, this is the Cutting Edge. And IRFM. Up, yellow.
Yes, Muta.
Irene.
So I miss out an opportunity to speak with one of your long-time listener, man. 94-year-old yesterday.
You're 94, all right?
No, not me, man.
The listener?
Michael Carr, yeah.
Okay.
But in Ghana now, man, in curfew was passed. I'm glad that them have a curfew, but we've got But honestly, years him I listen to you because me know from 2011. Yeah, me and him always listen Wednesday night time and sometimes. You don't know about the Thursday afternoon because a man blink hard at night and sleep at day. Yeah. Kind of put a curfew upon him also.
Okay.
Him kind of adhere to them, you know. Kind of loyal to him daughter them.
Thanks.
So me always want him to get a talk with you, but it's unfortunate he never gets to talk with you. And he was here since 94 years old.
I remember the same one I did that heal up the other day where a daughter give me a tell me if he heal. What's his name?
Michael Carr.
No, I know the same man. But some 90-year-old people are in some program and I keep them alive, eh?
Program, you know?
Yeah.
Me tell him to listen out for you.
All right, sir.
Yes, I'm always a listen.
Yeah. Yeah, we like you well today that them are listen still.
Yeah, man, I'm always listen, man. I and him always listen together, you know?
All right, sir, give thanks.
Yeah, man, every time.
Yes. Cutting edge, you know, say we're going to forward that little more from this, from 2 o'clock to 5:45 with the stepping razor, the art of war, you know. We want to tell, all right, Carl, I hope if you remember where I was saying, yes, Ian.
Blessed Muta.
Blessed.
Listen, I'd like to comment on the latest round of bombardment propaganda on the vaccines that we're being subjected to by our own government.
Okay.
Do you know Trump doesn't vaccinate?
Eh?
Trump.
Yeah, no, the American, them not really work with the vaccine thing.
No, they try and make ordinary people take it. They try and shove it down everybody else's throat.
Yeah.
But the rich people and the people that really know what to go on, they don't want nothing to do with no vaccine, no flu shot, nothing.
Them know what it is all about, man.
Exactly. They know that anything that have mercury in it, mercury is a neurotoxin. It rots your brain.
Yes.
Aluminum. Yes. They tell you what? Don't cook with aluminum pots because it does what? Causes Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Aluminum is in the vaccines. What's happening? What is it? The theory of vaccines is sound. You put a little bit of the germ in the vaccine, not enough to actually cause the sickness. And that will trigger the body's immune system to get into action to cause the antibodies so that you don't get it, right?
Yeah.
But what they do, they've got all kind of pollution in the something. What is mercury doing? You remember as a child, they tell you that if you drop the thermometer, be very careful because the red something in the thermometer is poison.
Yes.
Mercury. So that's mercury.
Yeah, remember, man.
And that's what's in the vaccines, all of them.
Yeah.
So we're not being served well at all. The government has been fooled. If they think that these things are safe and necessary for prepubescent girl, every single virgin in the country has to be joked down by this sitting that has not been proven, and in fact has been proven to be dangerous. And everybody just sits down. And then the commercials are run. And make sure you get your daughters vaccinated.
Yeah. Cervical cancer, them I get rid of.
When did this become such an epidemic?
Well, them would say that them don't want it to become an epidemic. That is what them say.
Oh, so therefore they're going to expose everybody to this thing, right? And the numbers on the cervical cancer are not what they're saying. It's not it's a cancer. The cancer is a problem, but it's not on the scale that they're saying, and it really is a scare tactic to push these vaccines down everybody's throat. And the next thing is the fluoride. Do you know Germany doesn't put fluoride in the water? Muta?
Yeah, man, yeah, man. I'm at the top, man.
Denmark, Finland, Iceland, almost all those European countries do not fluoridate their water. Why not? Because sodium fluoride is a deadly poison.
Yeah.
Right? That's why they don't put it in their water.
Yeah.
Now, when I was growing up, they told us that the reason they put the fluoride in the water is when they went to Africa, they saw these black people with brilliant white teeth, and they tested the water, and they saw a high concentration of fluoride in the water. Therefore, they decided, yes, that's it. We'll put fluoride in the water because the black people have good teeth because of this. But that's naturally occurring fluoride.
Yeah.
What they're putting in the water is some chemical leftover waste that they're dumping because they didn't know what else to do with it. Anything they make a lot of, they find some market for.
Yeah. Well, brethren, we have to just know what we are doing and figure it out and pass it on as much as we can pass it on. That's the people them can understand what is happening, you know.
Yeah, man, give thanks.
The watchman see the danger and don't warn the people, you know. The blood upon the film shoulder. So, as a watchman, you have to warn the people.
It's all over the internet. Anybody that's on Facebook can see this information. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, Muta, take care.
Yeah, man, give thanks. Yes. Serious single man talk about the fluorine and the vaccination them, you know. That's what I talk about all them cloud with mine. Because when them bring it to you, they make you feel like, say, there's a fear. There's a fear factor them have over we all the while. Them drive the fear and then give you the thing. That you fear, that you don't take it, something terrible going to happen to you. That's the fear factor where them I work with. Continuously. Same way that them religion, them create a religion and put it upon the people them, and how them control the people them through the fear. The outcome, the consequences of you not yielding to that doctrine. This is what will happen to you. The fear. Yes, ill.
Bless up, Buta.
Blessed man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I rather hear your final words of Chilani.
Okay.
Yeah, you're British. Yeah, man. I'm glad to hear what going over Africa, how the government are going to South Africa, you know? Yeah, man.
Decriminalize the ganja.
Yeah, man. For Jamaica government kind of the political partiality like the old time slave master, you know? Yeah, man. We don't have no good government around for in our country. That's why we don't vote in our means, bringing them to the vote.
Yeah.
I will vote for, you know?
Okay. Oh, you vote for Jaja, tell me.
Giving praises and guide you through you're going, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, man, you're going through all the while and meditate good and do good things, you know?
Yeah, okay. Give thanks, Bridget.
Yeah, give thanks. I mean, there are enough people up on the line.
Yeah, all right. Yes, I tell you, this is remarkable. All right, I'm going to say ill.
Yeah, please.
Ill. the same person, that? That's the same person, you know. How over there? Oh, we don't do this yet. Okay. My question, Iel.
Yeah.
Blessed, man.
Yeah, Muta.
How are you doing, man?
Muta.
Yeah, man. May I hear you, man, Dingo? May I hear you?
Yeah. I hear Ramaphosa paraphrasing a copy President Mugabe telling Trump, because the same year President Mugabe did say to Tony Blair that he will keep him Zimbabwe and him to keep him Britain.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Same way, same thing.
Yeah, man. So him let's now for President Mugabe who will say, yeah, you should keep your nose out of Zimbabwe, you know, and thing. Yes, you know. So really true. I mean, the only difference with the ANC and the PAC, as you know, is that the PAC says correctly to the Marcus Garvey way that South Africa belongs to us Africans, not all who live in it. Yeah. Meaning all of the Europeans, them where they and them thing there. You know what I mean?
You know, Uncle Malima, me hear not talk like them way there, you know. I don't hear Malima talk like how you hear the president talk that way that while ago.
No, man, him different because him changed to the Marcus Garvey, President Mugabe thing that Africa belongs to us Africans. Yeah, you know, so he moved from the ANC thing, but it belongs to the Indians and Europeans to where in South Africa. Yeah. Yes, them can be citizens, but Africa belongs to us as Africans. So Malema deal with the authentic Marcus Garvey, Africa for the Africans. You know what I mean? But it's that kind of pressure that force even Ramaphosa to say what he must say. And talk with all Trump there now. You know, news again that journalists in the States are being spied on because you have some secret courts where all the intelligence service them in the States have to do is tell some judges in applying that them suspect that these journalists deal with things which are wrong for the security of the U.S. That's all they must say suspicion, you know. No proof, you know, just them suspect.
Yeah, man, that's suspect.
Yes, just suspect. Yes. So all of the journalists them in the States now who coming out with things to expose the wrongdoing, racism and classism, coming under this kind of thing, where them being surveilled by these secret court orders, and guess who started? President Obama.
Yeah.
It began under him.
Yeah.
I remember he was supposed to be a Harvard law professor, you know.
Yeah.
So he go for sure, you say, these people are liars. Not every liar is good.
Yeah.
Commander President Obama to be spying, yes, to be spying on journalists and them thing there, you know. And I want to big up Gerald Dunkley, who is in the country, you know, doing several shows, you know, Jamaica, second child recording star after Delroy Wilson, doing shows, and also Junior English, who lives in London, you know, big reggae artist here and thing, because Junior English began his career with Errol Dunkley in 1963 for Prince Buster. Errol Dunkley, bigger brother, did sing wrote a song named Face Gone, and when Junior was 12, him and Errol used to move together at Cook Street in Jonestown. 1963, them sing the tune there for Prince Buster, you know, Face Gone. So big up to them two singers who still working, Junior English and Errol Dunkley. They sang in 63 as Errol and Junior, you know. Them really are going. And I love how Light Parks are going, because I'm sure that if you are around, you will definitely be at this show on the 5th of January.
5th of January
2019 coming. Yes, at Mass Camp, because Light Parks and the We the People band will be celebrating 44 years after the band Light Parks and We the People.
Yeah, about the celebration. I see them have one in Florida too, you know.
Yes, Sunday the 4th of November, them have a show where You remember this group from States named Blue Magic?
Yeah, man, what you mean, man?
Yeah, right, exactly. We know, yeah, we're saying Sideshow and them tune there. Yeah, man. Well, Light Parks and the Weedy people gonna back them on a show Sunday the 4th in a Coral Springs. And guess who they on the bill too? Brethren, living legend, singer and bass player and thing, Leroy Sibbles, the reggae phenomenon, Big Youth, Jayut, Johnny Clark, and you know, the man who always entertain people, Ernest Smith, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So we're really glad to see the veterans them keeping it going.
No, well,
you know,
keeping it going. Them out there tour more than loud them music tour when them just start, you know. Them a tour, you know. You see all the one when him Stranger Cole, him not live every minute in gone, you know. Him take plane and all like plane.
Like taxi.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Stranger Cole all over the plane. Why you love Stranger Cole, you know? And not to mention all Marcia Griffiths. Every week she got something about the
Marcia is the hardest working woman in reggae music, you know, over the years. And that's why she has been so successful. She don't leave the music field, and she don't stop work.
She go right through everyone in the genre, them. Everyone in the genre.
All over the world, because me take him in with Patsy, you know. Remember he was Stranger and Patsy used to sing together and things. And me take them in at shows and we're really, really glad for Stranger Cole, man. Big him up, man from Denham Town, the man. You know, one of the original, rough and tough and with Gladson and this. Remember the tune there, Just Like a River?
Yeah, man. Even Archibald too with him and Ken Booth. I mean,
yeah, man. Well, Stranger Cole is Ken Booth's mentor. And him bring Ken as a singer. Stranger Cole. Yeah, man. Definitely, man. Stranger Cole. And the man can dance.
Yeah, I tell you.
A real ex-man, you know. Yeah, man. Archibald and them. And the tune name, when them did the Studio One, World Sphere.
Yes.
When as them say, neither him nor Ken Booth did ever passport royal. But them say them just imagine what it's like at the World Sphere.
At the World Sphere, yes.
Yeah, man. Tough tunes, you know.
Cool Bangarang, big tune, Bangarang.
Yes, woman, no one Bangarang where inspired off a thing where Lester Sterling did have with a lady where he used to deal with and she leave and go to States and him ask the doctor.
No, that tune is a Cuban song, you know.
Yes, the instrumentation.
The words. Mama now bang is a Cuban song.
Yeah, but the rhythm, because I know
that's the rhythm.
A Cuban song.
Yeah, I'm played for you the original.
Yes, man. I've heard the original.
I know just the rhythm. Anyway, I don't just the rhythm though.
I don't just the rhythm, yeah, but play it still.
Let's go find
of course, it was done at Duke Reed studio there. Bond Street, 33 Bond Street there, you know what I mean? Real tough tune, man, you know? Bad tune, you know? So really glad how Stranger Cole really keeping it, because you know, we need these veterans in the business be there as guides for what go on. And you remember I was talking about the prison business strike in the States the other day. You see, as a result of the strike where the prisoners them do, the strike leaders, them man and others, man, coming under a lot of pressure, man, being denied visits by, you know, and you know, all kind of pressures there. And thing. You know that kind of victimization. So people like me and you and others who think like us, we have to keep this highlighted, what's going on with the people them who in captive in the prisons in the states who undergoing victimization because them strike for them human rights. Because as you know, Muta, you have some people, them believe that because a person is in prison, them not have no human rights at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And let us also remember that there are a lot of people in prisons all over the world who are in there innocent too.
A whole heap of people in Jamaica are in a prison innocently.
Yeah, they are prison innocently.
And me also know me in a prison now innocently.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Anyway,
innocently, and you know, you have so many brilliant minds in the prisons and thing where, you know, could be utilized. And I am a firm believer, and I believe you agree with me, that people who are in prison should be encouraged and programs developed to give them constructive profession so that when them come out, them will be able.
Yeah, but I want to hear something. Some women take the exam. The exam them there where people are take and get all 5 subject A's. In the
distinctions and them kind of
things. Yes, them have it on the news today too. Them have it on the news today. I will if I prison them a pass exam, but them afraid say when them come out with all of these exam papers, nobody now go and give them job because them to go to jail, even though them have the papers them. So,
yes,
I guess
you know, is the same problem we happen to a lot of our African youths in Britain. When them go prison and thing due to racism in a lot of cases and thing, when them come out, them study inside, them not giving no job, not because them not qualified educationally, but because of the same prison record thing. And one of the best solutions to that, you know, Muta, is that there should be a form of governmental setup whereby them get money that them able to start them own businesses, you know. Because you have some people, no matter what, from you have a prison record, them not giving you a job, no matter how you qualified for the job.
It starts out with that tune about wrong address, the address is a problem.
Exactly, wrong address. True, yes. You know, so it have to be self-reliance that them have to set up their own businesses, whether upon them own or in partnership with others like them, and self-reliance and things. Because you have some people, you could have blood man. From the moment them here say you go to prison.
Yeah, man.
You're not getting a job.
That is it. And
this is what forces back some people into criminality.
And then you say you come from a trench town, it's worse.
Yes, people have to survive, and you know, by any means necessary, because people not going to sit down and starve. No way at all. You know?
And we have to move.
All right, blessings. Keep up the good work.
Yes,
Hello?
Yeah.
Muta?
Yes.
Why you about to done my credit?
Yeah, done your credit, you know, for use it, man.
Well, I just call to say keep doing what you're doing. I enjoy your program. This is your nurse from Fort Lauderdale. Yeah.
All right, give thanks.
Yes. All right. And a long time in a year, my friend from New York.
Yeah, the one where I like sing the DJ song them?
Yeah, a long time in a year.
Him start coming out the day mostly now still.
Oh, okay.
Who is that talking to me by the way? Who's this talking to me by the way?
Colleen from Fort Lauderdale, the nurse. I think we had a conversation a while back.
Okay.
And I was telling you I enjoy your program at night. Most time I'm at night, I'm listening to your program.
All right, give thanks.
All right.
Yeah, man. All right. The same thing when Sister Carla talked about. Well, there is something happening in South Africa where nobody never expect for it happen. The decriminalization of ganja. Them call it dagga. In South Africa. Yes.
Have already been convicted for DACA-related crimes. What happens to them?
I think as with most legal pronouncement, it starts as of the day that it's pronounced. It doesn't regard previous cases.
Yeah, what if they have any
because they would have been controlled by the legal requirements of that time.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to poll up. We've changed it a bit. We're asking you, the decriminalization of dacha makes you happy, unhappy, I don't care. And of course, 60% saying yes.
With the new one, 29% says they don't care, 11% unhappy. Let's look at some of the tweets that you sent us in that regard. Okay, we don't have any tweets for now, but we'll look at some of them later on. Mahlaku Komane is at the Constitutional Court this morning. Mahlaku, we saw on our screens jubilation, but tell us what's happening right now.
Well, it's more celebrations. Good morning. There's more celebrations outside the court. They're the parties to the case are feeling very excited, and obviously celebrations and jubilation at the judgment that was delivered by the Constitutional Court. I am back again with Jeremy Acton, who is the party leader of the Dacha South Africa, the Dacha Party of South Africa, but he was also one of the plaintiffs in this particular matter as well. He's just going to tell us how now he is feeling now that they have gotten certain victories, and obviously the state has also been asked to pay their legal costs and costs that they may have incurred in challenging the state's case. Jeremy, thank you so much for talking to us, and congratulations on your victory. How are you feeling? I mean, like you said earlier, on a long journey.
Yes, I'm very pleased that we appealed against the at-home limitation, and that privacy has been extended to the person as they move through the public space. It is a new freedom for people, and it allows cannabis users to participate in society in a positive way. And it also, very importantly, puts the medicine, which is this is a very medical beneficial plant. It puts the medicine into the hands of the people, and I hope that it will also empower people in the rural areas in terms of growing a positive product and being able to provide it to others in some private way, where we can actually be a culture and exchange and gift and make sales and trade in this in such a way that it conforms to privacy.
And also, the judge also did speak about quantity, saying that it was not their place to speak on that he was trying to respect the principle of separation of powers. What does this mean going forward in terms of the victories that you have gotten, but obviously you still need to be engaging with the state on drafting the various legislations that speak to the issue of quantity?
Yes. Well, when we make cannabis oil to treat cancer, you need a large amount of materials in order to make a small amount of cannabis oil. And we are still obviously claiming our right to use of this plant for our health. So if people have ailments and they need oil and they need therefore to grow a large amount, as long as they are doing it in a private place by arrangement with the people of their culture, and as long as they're doing using it privately, then I believe that the quantities are not limited. But let's be reasonable. We can as a culture in the interim operate within this new judgment. We can respect this law.
And also, you spoke earlier on about the various demands that you had made to the court, speaking to issues of wanting people that had been arrested by police for the possession of dacha. What's the way forward?
Well, so many people since the Western Cape High Court judgment have been arrested in their homes as a result of this order, of the prohibition. And so, although these judges did not dismiss this still allows us, and all those who were arrested and who are imprisoned as a result, to make separate applications in their various high courts to have this possibly their freedom granted as well, because they're equal to everyone else. And why should they sit in jail and be why should they have suffered all this time while people are now more free? You see.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. I also have another guest. She's from the Cannabis Association of South Africa. The Cannabis Development Association of the Cannabis Council. Can you just please tell us the judgment today? What does this say now for cannabis for medicinal use and also for other uses?
It opens up a whole spectrum of recognition of our ancestral roots. We must bear in mind that Africans have been using cannabis in a sacred way for a long time. Furthermore, in terms of its medical developments, filling the healthcare gap which people so desperately need access to. History has been made today, and factually, South Africans are not new to fighting for their freedom. This is one step in the right direction. We also aim, as the Cannabis Development Council of South Africa, to bring legitimacy to the industry and to be true to the people in the representation of cannabis in terms of development, industry, poverty alleviation, and with a big focus on women, being that cannabis is the female plant. And additionally, when we speak cannabis, we speak hemp as well, because we are here to restore and reform our industry and economy.
Your name again?
My name is Rod.
Well, that was scenes as we see it right outside the Constitutional Court. I'm just going to step out of shot, and we're just going to pan quickly to just the scenes of what is happening outside here at the courts. We're seeing people are beating drums. The Rastafari community is beating drums and also celebrating. I mean, there were loud cheers when we were inside the court today, and just a very victorious time for this community and users of Dagga across South Africa, though some saying that they still need to sort out some parts of legislation that they feel they weren't too happy with. But back to you in studio. We will be here bringing you more on reactions on today's judgment.
This is the cutting edge. That is really something else, man. I mean, that you don't know. Yeah, true, you don't know that in South Africa there, the ganja thing was a serious problem, especially for the Rasta them. My God, man. The ganja in South Africa is like we in the 60s with Carol Garden there, and how they make 18 months mandatory if you catch the evil seed of ganja. That is how terrible it was in South Africa as it relates to ganja. So, yeah, man, it's a landmark thing that in South Africa. Actually, you don't know, decriminalization of ganja. So we're going to see which other African country now will follow suit with it. Yes, EL. Yes, sorry, EL.
Muta?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, this is the Emperor Haile Selassie Kurt Nugent reincarnated as Kurt Nugent,
What?
And again, a different form,
What is it?
And the Emperor Haile Selassie Jarastafari reincarnated as Kurt Nugent.
Kurt Nugent?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think, sir, I was a fire for the Pope of Rome, because the Pope fight against INI and fight against you. They say fight against you, we can wear foot, or barefoot. You understand the point?
The Pope fight against me. Hold on. The Pope fight against me, make me go barefoot.
Yeah, the Pope, because he's a sorcerer,
So the Pope make me walk barefoot.
I am fighting against.
Oi. Me ask if the Pope make me walk barefoot.
Prophet, Prophet, for the Marcus Garry Paul, tell me say, it's a bad example for a barefoot as a result of the Pope, I can be charged under the law, but no disrespect to the eye still.
No, hold on, man. Hold on.
Yeah.
Still I say, you may ask you. Are the Pope make me walk barefoot?
Yeah, and for we get from the gods of angels.
So let me ask you a question now.
Yeah.
Why you have a dead king animal shoes? Who make you wear that? The dead king shoes where you have on?
Well, it was ordained by the Maker. God
tell you to kill the animal to make shoes.
Right. It's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible say you must kill half the animal to make shoes.
When the animal, but leather, it comes from leather from wood. You understand me?
Leather come from wood?
Yes. That's from animal. It comes from leather.
Leather come from wood?
Well, I don't respect where it come from.
I will still say, I tell me, man, leather come from which wood, brethren?
Okay.
Where you come from?
But Muta, you have some problems, Muta.
Problem? You can't have no problem. No, you say incarnate and that's it. Or you have a problem?
Yeah, but through the war wasn't ever against the devil, the Pope.
All right, you want to know. Yeah, brethren, you may tell that now.
Yeah.
You see, right now, you chew me there in a vibe that's on with the program. I can't tell the damn foolishness in the middle of the morning. So, you understand? So, you what you going to do? You're going to call me back next week. Yes. Cutting edge. Here we go now. Yes, so whenever I remind you, but I will tell you now, so with the pan track again down at the pier. Yes, this Sunday from 5 o'clock to 1 o'clock. If you come 5, you go to just see the sun has set. And you go to can see one of your friends them come off of the place because it's that near on the waterfront there. So, yeah, we're there with you. Rock steady. Reggae. It's not an oldie session where I keep, you know. It's just good music, Jamaican music session where I keep. It's not an oldie session. You know, see, what we are start tell you about Rocksteady. You going to hear a little Mento too. Reggae, 80s dancehall. When we say 80s dancehall, you talk about like Tiger. You talk about like Shabba. You talk about like the Indian man. I tell you. So you guys know, we are invited down there. The pier, the new refurbished pier, you're unbelievable. If you never go down there yet, you have a chance to go down there now and go look upon how the place look again. This is the place where Marcus Garvey did land in Jamaica when them deport him from America. And it is one of the oldest dance hall. And when we say dance hall, we're not talking about the genre of music. We are talking about the place. Long before the genre of music named dance hall there was a dance hall where people go and dance, and that was a dance hall right on the pier there, so where boat used to come in and will heap of tourists and sailor and all them something there. When Hanover Street was a red light district, for those of you who don't know where red light district, ask your friend them who travel. Hanover Street was a red light district. From right down at the bottom there were near to Merkle Bank, they go right up to the top. Past Kingston Technical, go straight up to North Street, red light district. So we are saying now that them revitalize the place downtown, and we down there for help revitalize it with music. So this Sunday we depend here again. Every Sunday we call it Rhythms Sundays. Rhythm Sundays. This is the cutting edge. We want to say yell up to the operator outside, what do we know out there? Why yell up? You know who me go say no? Me hungry. Be hungry. Hey, Vita, you want me a juice here, sir? You want me a juice? And I will tell the people them why you want me a juice, but you just want me a juice. And you please at them a shot. People are wondering what me I talk about a foreign, but anytime when I come here, I just find it and you hear what me talk about. The please at them a shot. You understand? Yes. Okay. Here we go now. Musically. Music alley and all the other alley them. Where we there? I can see where we are there. So, okay. And that's over there.